because what you're doing in your home is way more important than what's happening at the White House. Like, so you are making a bigger impact by the choices that you're making in your home, the food that you're feeding your children, the conversations that you're having, the choice to homeschool, home educate, or, even if you can't, like, just come around the dinner table at night and have the conversations. That's more important. Building your children up in that next generation. So I think just putting the trust in who's the next president going to be, and just waiting for the economy to turn around. No, because you can be doing that now with connecting with people in your community, like the local sawmill, the local baker, the local, the farmer down the road that maybe grows grain, and connecting and making those connections. That's going to be a bigger impact.
That was Sarah Stutzman, and you're listening to The Regenerative Journey.
G'day, I'm your host Charlie Arnott, an 8th generational Australian regenerative farmer. And in this podcast series, I'll be diving deep and exploring my guests' unique perspectives on the world so you can apply their experience and knowledge to cultivate your own transition to a more regenerative way of life.
Welcome to The Regenerative Journey with your host, Charlie Arnott.
G'day, welcome back to The Regenerative Journey and welcome to our office. It's winter. No, it's not winter. It's actually October, but it feels like winter. It's been a bit rainy and very windy and cold today. I've got my jumper on. The dog's huddled up on the floor here. I've even had a heater on in the office. For those who are watching, you can see a bit of mayhem behind me there on the wall. However, this is all about Sarah Stutzman. She is an amazing homesteader, homemaker, homeschooler in Lancaster County in Pennsylvania in the States. We caught up with Sarah midway through our tour of the States last year in July. I came across her on Instagram, I think it was, and I can't remember how, but absolutely fascinating how she has essentially created a business from what she loves doing, which is a wonderful thing to do, of course. And 10, 11 years ago, she just started teaching people around her kitchen table how to, bake bread and cheese and all sorts of cool stuff. She's totally across the whole homesteading scene. She's fantastic. We had such a lovely chat about what's important to her, family, health, food. Her garden's amazing, orchards and 3.5 acres there. They've got an amazing old barn and vegetables and so on. It's such a hive of activity in such a small area, but a real credit to her and her family for doing amazing things there with food and education and health and so on. Really loved our time with Sarah there. It was brief, but very memorable. We're on the way through a couple of hours with her and her family, and I just have to say thank you, Sarah, and I hope you all enjoy this episode of the Regenerative Journey as much as I enjoyed recording this interview with Sarah Stutzman. Sarah Stutzman, not Stutzman,
That's
even
correct.
though we're here, Stutzman, because your husband's from the West, I believe.
That's right.
Welcome to the Regenerative Journey and welcome to your, where are we? This room is your office?
This is the multi-purpose room. It's
the mud room.
I call it my office, but it's kind of the all-purpose room. But
It's a lovely little, your backdrop there.
Thanks.
And I'm sweating like a...
Yeah, it's hot here.
Yeah, it's pretty...
It's hot here, so...
You're used to it.
Yeah.
Tell me, Sarah, and so lovely to be here. I think when I put the call out a month ago to anyone and everyone to, I'm heading to the States. Mm-hmm. I was trying to think who it was who...
Oh, my friend Corinne.
Yeah.
That she tagged me, because she's in Australia.
Ah, cool.
Yeah.
And she went, check her out.
Yeah.
And here we are.
Yeah.
So
I'm
this is awesome.
so excited. Thank you for coming here. And
pleasure. Pleasure. This is the 5th interview for the month. Mm-hmm. I interviewed Paul Check. Do Do you know Paul Check? You follow him? He's just a polymath. He's a freak.
I'm going to take some notes.
Do that. Take notes.
Yeah.
Paul Check is amazing. He's all about past life stuff, reincarnation, energetics, human health, nutrition, all over it. And Sarah Glover's an Aussie chef who's now living in LA. And then Will Harris, of course, White Oak Pastures. Have you been down there?
No.
Just prepare for the humidity.
Okay. But I have a cousin that lives down there, so I'm thinking, okay, if I travel down, I will have to make a trip.
You need to. It's wonderful. Just a lovely community, Bluffton. And then I was trying to do a southern accent all the time, and he was going, "That is the worst accent I've ever." I can't even do it now because I'm not there. When I'm there, I'm in the zone.
Okay.
He said it's the worst one he's ever heard. He sounds like I was constipated.
Well, my oldest, like I said, she was so bummed she couldn't miss you because she missed you because her favorite accent is Australian.
Aussie accent. Yeah.
She watches Man from Snowy River, that movie.
Oh yeah.
Are you familiar? Yeah.
Oh,
and
totally.
So she's like, oh man.
There was a movement at the station for the word had passed around the cult from old Roberta got away. That's the first two lines of the Banjo Patterson poem that they made the movie.
Yeah.
Is she familiar with the poem?
I don't think so.
Because Banjo Patterson, A.B. Patterson, who lived not far from where I live in Australia, in this is going to test me, 1880 or something. 1890 it might have been. He wrote poetry, Australian poetry, and one of his better known or best known poems is "The Man from Snowy River."
Okay.
Which was then turned into a film.
Yes.
But his poetry is wonderful.
Okay. I will have her look into that.
There are books. There
She's a reader.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's cool.
Yeah.
Lordy spotted a book in an op shop. I'm not sure what you call them. Bric-a-brac shop at Christmas, and gave it to me for Christmas. And it's it's not all his stuff, but it's most of his poetry. Beautiful.
I'll have her look into that because she watches the movie over and over again. Both of them.
Yeah, the second one wasn't quite as good.
Yeah, no.
Because it was like, let's just do a sequel.
Yeah.
How do we get
off tangent? Accents, yes. And then you were at Will Harris, and then you were
Will Harris,
at,
and then at Joel, it's Polyface. I had a few hours with him yesterday farm touring and interviewing. Yeah. And you were saying how you're not worthy. What? That's so not the case.
Like you're going to these big farms and well-known people.
No. This is awesome because it's lovely that I don't know much about you, and I tend not to do research on people.
Okay.
I did a little bit. But I love to discover as we go, Yeah. And so here we are. So lovely to be here. We've had a look around the your garden.
Yes.
We've looked at cassia, the Jersey cow, and fruit and veggies and all sorts of lovely things.
Yeah. And Buell and the bees and all the things. We decided that let's have more gardens so we don't have to mow as much. That's our.
Is that still a thing? Because you said you were saying before that you're not sort of eating as many veggies.
We don't, but. Yeah, our goal is to maybe raise more animals. Get a
bit of cow poo out there and
or maybe sheep. Sheep.
Yeah.
I think sheep would be perfect.
You'd eat them. You'd eat them, yeah.
Yeah. Do you eat sheep? Yeah.
Love it. It's one of my favourite meats. Over beef, I have to say, because it has I think more flavour.
Yeah.
And it's easier to kill and easy to prepare yourself, and simple cuts.
Okay, so we just ordered one from a farmer. They follow a lot of the Joel Salatin style farming down the road from us, and that's what I love having. Now these farmers that are popping up that are doing this regenerative farming and these practices that are aligning to us. Because when we started, we had to do this on our own because it was Amish and Mennonite, and we're like, no one's really farming and doing anything like this. And where do we get our meat that's not from the grocery store? So we just ordered a lamb that'll be ready in September. So
is that lamb coming from around here?
Yeah, it's just cool. Maybe 10 miles down the road. And we'll bring it home. We'll butcher it ourselves and, see how it goes.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. And then I want to experiment first. I want to experiment with, the cuts of meat and cooking with it before I dive into, buying a few for here.
Having some there, yeah. And look, sheep are reasonably easy to maintain, easier than goats for sure, because sheep won't browse like goats will. They won't eat everything like goats will. And they probably, with some simple fencing, you're probably more chance of keeping them in.
Yeah. Do you do, so I'm going to do the portable fencing, like move them around. Because I think that's just easier for us because we have such a small farm, 3.5 acres. Then we can move them and they can mow for us. And then we can have meat, you know.
Totally. Oh, that makes perfect sense. Yeah. The thing is, you just probably don't want to leave them in one spot for too long, otherwise they'll just nibble. Okay. So we've covered a lot, haven't we, already? Tell me, what is it to kind of, what is it, how important or how does it feel to be here in your space with your somewhat, you know, autonomous life with, you know, a space that you can grow food, have your bees, have your family, because I'm trying to give the listeners and the viewers a sense of sort of where we are. You don't have to like name every plant or whatever, but just like it's clearly, it was an important thing for you to do at some point.
It was. So like how we got here, is that what you're asking?
Yeah,
Pretty much how we got here.
Well, maybe just start by framing up what we're looking at and what's actually here. Let's do that, and then I'll take you back to day one. Okay. Sarah, hitting the ground. Yeah. First day of life. We'll go back to that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to get that granular.
Oh, we're going to get that deep. Okay.
But let's start with what we're looking at and sort of set the scene for people as to what's here and what you've actually developed here.
Oh, right. Okay. Yes.
How many years ago did you arrive here?
So we moved in here 11 years ago. Would have been May of 11 years ago, and we looked at so many properties. We rented for a while, our first homestead, and I looked at so many places, and my husband's like, nope. And we got to this place, and it just felt like it wasn't this like aha moment where I thought it was going to be like butterflies and roses. It just felt like this peace inside of me, you know. And the couple, it was a for sale by owner property, which was such a blessing because property around us is extremely expensive in our area, and even just increasing in value. So to be able to own a piece of land in the county that we live in is just incredible. So then we just started developing, like I was sharing, we put the peach orchard in right away. The garden was down in the front where the asparagus is. And so we moved the garden up top, and just learning the soil was extremely difficult, you know. And then we went to wood chip gardening because we heard about it and learned about it. And I was like, there's no way that anything is going to grow in wood chips. And it did. And I was like, this is amazing. It was the first amazing garden we had. But we kept our garden down in the bottom there. Like we have asparagus, there was asparagus there from the previous owners. So we just kept that there and allowed it to, we put more asparagus in. I feel like that was an experimental, like that part of the garden is definitely experimental, and I have new plans for it next year. It gets pretty wet down there. So we run our chickens.
It's right by the road, right?
Yeah. We run our meat birds down there sometimes in that open area where it gets a little soggy.
Yeah. Have you got meat birds on at the moment?
No. We actually just do one round of meat birds now.
Yeah.
Because I'm a hoarder of food. Are you like that? Do you hoard food at all?
Yeah.
Like I'm not going to have enough. I want to make sure I have enough in the freezer for my family. And so I pull out chickens from 2 years ago, and my husband is like, we just butchered chickens. Like I'm not butchering anymore. So yeah. So we do 50 at a time.
Do you do like Joel Salatin style? You know,
the tractors, and we pull them every day. And my middle child, she has taken over that operation. And
so you do 50 in one go?
Yeah.
Do you slaughter them all at one go?
We do.
And then they all go you got a big freezer, right?
Yeah. We have multiple freezers.
That's a lot of birds.
Yeah, it is. Well, and 1 year we did 100 at a time. And I think that's why I'm like just catching up. And I think next summer, we may have to do 100 or maybe even 75. So we did a round in the spring, and then we did another round at the end of spring.
Yeah.
So here we have a season where we could do, we raise Freedom Ranger color yields. Are you familiar with those?
No, that sounds exciting. So they're the meat bird. They're a particular
They're a meat
variety.
bird. Yeah,
awesome.
They're not the big white Cornish cross. I know Joel raises those. And a lot of people do because they're fast growing, and they're, I think, 6 to 8 weeks grow out. But we found that they don't do well in the heat for us here, and they sit by their feeder and just eat meat. And so the color yields are awesome, and the hatchery is just like 15 minutes down the road, and I can pick them up. I don't have to have them shipped in, and they grow. I think it takes 12 weeks. 12 weeks, but they're happy birds. And when you move their pen, you can hear them click, 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 like eating.
And they're happy to grow. They eat a fair bit of the grass. And they do the foraging. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So meat birds this year. We don't have pigs this year. We found a grower that will raise them for us, and it's about the same price. So.
Oh, as in you're happy to get the finished product from them. Yeah, right.
Well, so we have a mobile butcher around us.
Oh, awesome.
Do you have anything like that?
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
Yep, best.
Yeah.
Yep.
It is awesome. So they don't actually butcher. They just come out, do the kill, gut, clean up the animal, and then take it back to the butcher shop and process it.
Yeah. And then they'll pack it.
Yeah. And,
what sort of animals have they done for you?
So they've done our pigs. My brother-in-law raises steer, and so he goes out to do the steer. But he's getting rid of the pig operation this year. So we're like, we're going to have to load pigs on a trailer, and that's not fun. And so he also raises pigs. He does the woodlot pigs.
Oh, fantastic.
So why not?
Yeah, that's great. Well, again, as long as you know where it's from and it's kind of, all done to your high standards.
Yeah.
So I imagine you've got 3.5 acres here. Having a designated pig area, that'd be pretty messy and, they bog things up and they root round and carry on.
Yeah. So it wasn't
you don't
actually...
have phone calls to your neighbours going, you're goddamn pigs.
Yes, no, they actually...
In my corn, in my GMO corn.
That is a funny story. When we first got pigs here, we raised pigs on his parents' property when we first got started. That first year, homesteading, we dove in. We had chickens, we had a Holstein steer, we had pigs.
All here?
No, this was at his parents' property. We
His
had
being...
his mom and dad.
When you say his, as in...
my husband. Sorry.
Right.
Yep,
no, what's his name?
Brooke. My husband's name is Brooke.
Brooke. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
I want to get to him because he's doing some cool stuff.
Yeah. I was just telling you. He's a taxidermist and does some really amazing stuff as far as like animal artistry. And so that's what he does full time. And then he's the farmer
He's
here.
Mr. Fix-It.
Yep, pretty much.
Mr. Stone wall builder and shelf builder and everything. Yeah, cool.
He's dad, and he always comes home and he says, I'm not fixing one more thing, because he's always fixing something.
Do you always have a big list for him of things to do?
I've learned not to make lists for him. That was a big no-no.
So how do you use, like, leave a note with one thing?
Well, we make a list together. Usually on a Sunday or a Saturday, we'll get together and we sit on the porch and have coffee, and he's like, okay, what needs to be done? And we make a long list of things that need to be done for the week. Mm-hmm. And then we can just check it off. So we do it together.
Yeah, cool.
Because I've learned that if I make the list for him, then I get in trouble because,
he's got to agree. Yeah. And it's got to be eye to eye. Yeah. Okay, I'm accountable. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah. That's a nice way to do it.
Yeah, it works out really well. And then we get the children involved too. So we're like, hey, what do you guys need done? And we all pitch in together.
You have a bit of a family powwow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Because they're older now and they can... They help out, and they all have their little roles. Like I said, Hannah was doing the chickens for a while, and we butcher all together. And even the pigs, for a while we were butchering the pigs together. But then we let that to a butcher because we were wasting a lot of the hams, the bacon, the things that could be smoked,
Okay.
By the end of the day, we're like, we're done. We're going to put it in the freezer, and we'll get to it. And then we wasted a lot of food, and that you don't want to waste when you're, it's hard work.
And you've done it, and you experimented, and you...
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Tick the box. Not so much tick the box as in... but it's like, okay, I know what it's like.
And we know how to do it. I mean, my husband's a hunter, so we process our own deer, and so...
Cool.
Yeah. But with that first pig we brought here, we brought one pig home. We had the wire super hot up top, and we had a couple strands. We're like, oh, he's good. Came down, and we heard the big squeal, and we went up, and he wasn't there.
Oh, he just gone.
Yeah, he got out.
They squeal before they hit the wire.
Yes, he was out, and they chased him all throughout the community here. And and I think there was a Facebook post that went out, and I met new neighbors. They went across the main road. He went across the main road. I think he was gone for a week, and finally, our neighbors up the road. That's how I met them. They're like, is anyone missing a pig? And I guess someone tagged me on Facebook, and I was like, yeah, that's us. And so our neighbor ran him down until he was so tired and he couldn't move anymore.
Yeah,
and we got him home. So yeah.
Classy. And then he went into the freezer eventually.
He did eventually. We put him in the barn. We put him down where he had lots of electric and high tensile fencing so that he wouldn't escape.
Classy. Yeah, Joel, he trains his for a couple of weeks.
Oh.
And I think he trains them. We might do a similar thing. They train them so that if they do escape, they don't escape.
Yes.
You know, they somehow rig up some sort of thing. And what else? So you've got orchards. You planted some. What were these ones here again?
So we have peach trees.
Peach trees.
Mostly peach. We had some apricot. We planted some cherries. Some of those didn't make it.
Cherries are a bit temperamental.
They are. And lots of elderberry bushes that have just taken off and multiplied.
Oh, they're great.
And it's great because that is something now that I usually teach a class on that, you know, how to harvest elderberries and how to put them in the freezer, how to make syrup. And it's a big shindig. It's like a big party when all the women come together and we just kind of, you know, bag them up. And
what about the men? Don't you get men doing that sort
Well, I don't get many men to my classes.
How rude.
Sometimes, I know. It's
Is it
women.
what does your advertising look like? Is it all women welcome? And or just men just not into that sort of thing?
I guess not. Sometimes. The winemaking class. I had a winemaking class that I had some men come to. It's raining. Perfect. We need that. It hasn't rained.
It rained yesterday, right?
It did rain a little bit. Yeah, it's been really dry here, really hot.
That'll cool things down here.
It will, yeah.
So peaches,
Yes.
Cherries, you've got blueberries.
And pears, and the pears and the blueberries were here. Yeah.
How much stuff are you buying then? Like, I don't know, do you buy, I mean, you can't grow rice here.
No.
Or wheat.
I think my grocery bill is usually cheese or raw milk from our farmer. Sometimes meat, but not a lot of meat. Not a lot of meat. Mostly milk, like mostly dairy, and then some fruit. Because you saw our peach trees; they don't really have many peaches on them, so that ebbs and flows. And I think Joel talks about this too. Like one season you'll have a bumper crop of cucumbers, and one year it's tomatoes, and it just ebbs and flows. And you know, sometimes like our blackberry bushes died. And I think that's with farming and homesteading, you just have to roll with the punches and be appreciative of what you have in the season.
Totally.
And be grateful for it.
I'm sure this garden's going to be grateful for this rain.
Oh yeah.
This rain right now. And what about the milk? So have you done, because Mads, who you met before, she was wondering about your cheese and stuff.
Yeah.
Do you ever get raw milk and then like turn it into bocconcini or do any sort of value add to the milk? Yeah.
I do. I mean, when
cheeses?
When our milk cow was in full milk, that was so fun. That summer, it was hot and we were making cheese, but we had so much fun, my daughters and I, and we were making Parmesan was our favorite. So
You made Parmesan?
Yeah.
Really? Oh, yeah. Lila's going to love that.
Oh my gosh.
She like eats it like a rat.
Oh yeah.
She just loves it.
Yeah.
Really?
And like homemade Parmesan cheese is so much better. Really? And the cool thing about Parm is, you know, when you have raw milk, you're always like, okay, what do I do with the cream? Do I keep it on the milk or do I skim it off and make butter and sour cream and all those yummy things? With Parmesan cheese, it's skim milk. So you can still
you use that milk.
Yeah.
But you take the cream off and what's left over. Yeah, which is the...
So you can take the cream and make the butter and the sour cream and all the yummy things and then use the skim milk.
Do you make Parmesan. A big wheel? How big wheel do you have?
It was a 6-pound wheel. So it's probably, I would say, 6 inches.
Like a bread and butter plate kind of size.
I would say so.
Really?
A small one is about like a dessert plate, right?
Do you have a recipe for that?
I use Ricky Carroll. Are you familiar with Ricky Carroll? She's up in Massachusetts, I believe.
Right.
Her book is called Home Cheese Making.
Yeah, okay.
I have used her because I started making cheese when I was, that was like 15 years ago. We didn't have our own dairy. We didn't even have our own dairy cow, but I was so infatuated. I'm like a cheese lover. Do you love cheese?
Oh
my gosh. Right.
If a doctor said to me, you have to stop eating cheese or you'll die, I'll say,
yeah, exactly. I'd like be crying and like, I had to give up. Like my youngest daughter she could not tolerate any dairy. So I had to give up dairy for a while. And I was like, this is, but I'll do anything for you.
Tragedy.
Wow. So yes. But now when I buy it, I don't make like rounds of cheese because now I can find raw cheese around us. And I was sharing that with you like earlier that I think it's so amazing. When we started, we were doing all the things because we couldn't find pastured meat. We couldn't find, the raw cheese. I was actually going to a dairy that his mom took me to at milking time, opened the tank and would get my milk. And now there's more and more dairies that are actually bottling milk and have a certificate to sell it to the public. Before that, it was all like, okay, we're, the honor system, put your money in the coffee can and don't tell anyone, right? Don't tell many people. Because it's legal in Pennsylvania where we're at. Not all states it's legal. Raw milk is legal here.
Illegal.
Legal. Like you're allowed to sell it, but you have to have a the certificate. You have to have, you have to be checked by the state.
Yep.
And it can only be milk. It can't be the cream. It can't be the yogurt. That kind of thing. And so is it really legal? If you still have to have
it's still regulated, isn't it?
It's regulated, yeah. Whereas some states, it's pet milk. You can sell it as pet milk. And so,
actually, we bought a bottle of pet milk the other day.
Did you?
Where was that at? That was at White Oak Pastures. And I've seen bottles of calf milk.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's like, it's ambiguous, but it's calf. You either feed it to a calf or it's the milk that a calf has to drink. So that makes sense. Yeah. Or there's one in Australia called Cleopatra's bath milk for cosmetic use only.
Okay.
Which is the only use I always bathe in milk all the time.
All the time. But I'm a little itchy sometimes.
My complexion.
Yeah.
So good.
That's why your complexion is amazing.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, a bit milky. How do we get into milk? Cheese.
Oh, cheese, yes. Cheese and food. And so my grocery bill is mostly dairy products and some fresh fruits and vegetables. And I'm a sucker for farm stands. I'm a sucker for them. Yeah. My husband's like, why are you going to farm stands? We grow all of this. I'm like, I know, but I love the cute little farm stands and the people. And
you're all supporting each other. And maybe they've got a different type of heirloom tomato you guys aren't growing. Or, I don't know, some things can be a bit out of season, I guess, as well. Or your peaches might have done well this year.
Right, exactly. And and then going back to like creating your community, when we were starting, we didn't have this. And I felt like we had to do a lot on our own, but we loved it. And we fell in love with just like learning. And we're like, oh, those green beans are ours. What else can we grow? And what else can we can? And now it's like, oh, I'm okay releasing, like I'm going to buy a bushel of peaches from this farmer that's raising them organically. Or I'm going to get my brick of organic cheese, your raw cheese, from this farmer. And I love that we can support each other, and I don't have to rely solely on me. And I can do other fun things like get cheap, and learn.
I reckon that's awesome.
Yeah.
Hang on, I'll just make a note of that.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go back to day one. Sarah appeared somewhere. Yeah. Where did you appear? Not far from here or a long way from here?
Oh, no, I grew up 30 minutes north of here.
Really?
Yeah, my husband's from this area. I was sharing his grandfather was an organic farmer in this county, like the first of many organic farmers.
So how long, what time frame are we talking about? If his grandfather, so
that was in the 80s. We're 80s babies.
Your 80s, but your husband's grandfather, in terms of organic farming.
Organic farming, I think, was like 70s. I believe his story was he did start out as, the commercial, using all the sprays, but he had a lot of respiratory issues and just had that funny taste in his mouth and was like, what is this? I'm not. So he went a different way.
And that was around here? No.
Yeah, it's just right around here. Yeah, and that was our first homestead that we lived on. He had passed away. I never got to meet him, unfortunately. But he had passed away, and the farm was sold to a family friend. No one in the family took over farming. I think there's a few that do have like some produce stands and stuff that are still in that. They have their own gardens and that love of gardening. But no one took over the farm. So it's like Mennonite, the Plain community now that have it. And so the farmhouse, or it wasn't even a farmhouse, it was a modular because the farmhouse burnt down. And so the modular came up for rent, and my husband moved in, and then we got married.
On the farm,
yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was really cool because it was just a separate, they farmed the land, but the farmhouse they just rented, or the modular they rented out.
Did he remember being there as a kid and everything?
Oh my word, yeah. Absolutely. And so it was so great, and we had the run of the place. And we had two big gardens. We had one in the back, and then I came home one day, and he had the front yard tilled up. And we had chickens, and like I said, we didn't have pigs there. We had chickens and meat birds. And then we had a baby, and we just dove right in. It was so much fun. You know?
So going back to, so we get a sense of where that urge to homestead came from. Born 20 minutes away.
And
so what was, into what sort of situation? Not on a farm or on a farm?
No, not on a farm. I actually grew up, kind of. I grew up on a Christmas tree farm, an exotic animal and Christmas tree farm.
Exotic animal?
It was crazy.
Really? Like not a zoo?
No, my parents got married at the age of 5. My parents were asked by my great aunt and uncle to come and manage this big property that they bought. And we lived in the barn that was renovated. And my parents managed the Christmas tree farm. And my dad worked full time. And then my aunt and uncle my great aunt and uncle, started in this. They had this love for exotic animals. So I grew up with elk and camels.
We love barking dogs.
Okay, sorry.
That's fine.
Elk and camel and oh my word, fainting goats and pygmy goats.
Goats.
I've
seen videos of them.
Did you see? Oh, those are the first. Yeah. You scare them and they just fall over.
What is that?
It's a defense mechanism. Yeah, I think a defense mechanism.
Is that a genetic thing? There's a line of fainting goats?
Yeah.
What a classic.
It's crazy.
And was this place open to the public or was it a private thing?
It was open to the public. So every Christmas or starting in November, people would come out and tag their tree. And then when it was time, they would come out and cut their Christmas tree. We had a big barn that had all kinds of crafts in. And we had wagon rides because my one uncle had Clydesdales. And
cool.
It was quite an experience.
So people literally go to a tree and go, I want you in 6 weeks' time.
Yeah.
They tag it. And then how do they chop them down?
We had saws.
They
would chop it down, yeah.
So it's picked around the tree.
Or we had, helpers that were hired on the farm that would go out and cut it for you.
Them. Oh.
But I don't know how they remembered where their tree was. Because how do you celebrate?
We just go and get it. We just get it. Well, we generally, when we're at home and on our farm, we just go and chop down a little pine tree. Okay. We've got sort of rows of pine trees in different stages of maturity because they were planted years ago. In the little seedlings are coming out. Yeah, so we just do that. Or we have just got small eucalypt or branches or willow, bits of willow, because at that time of year in Christmas, we're summer, so willows are big and weepy and whatever.
Okay.
But no, I've never actually gone and got my own tree from a farm.
Yeah, so it's a thing. There's Christmas tree farms. Yeah, I know. I'd rather go out into the woods and just chop one down. Instead of it's so commercial,
Yeah,
it's so commercial. And it was really commercial. We had the hot dogs and the hot cocoa, and and then at 12 we moved. My parents moved because my mom had my sister, and it was just a lot. It was a lot to take care of, and so we moved into a development. And it was just
urban, suburban situation.
Yeah.
In the same sort of.
It was very close by. Yeah. So that was a different kind of childhood. So I went from living vicariously, free, and just being able to ride my bike and do whatever I wanted to. My mom had a little garden. My mom didn't can a whole lot, but little garden. And then they had a little garden growing up too, just tomatoes. But then I asked my dad, can I extend the garden? I just had this love for just herbal medicine and essential oils and natural healing and all of that. And so then when I met my husband and we, that first year, I was sharing that we watched Food Inc. It's so cliche, that one documentary, and it was where is our food coming from? Because I was pregnant and I was like, where's our food coming from? And we were kind of he grew up really crunchy. His mom was very I say crunchy, organic, and watched what they ate. And so I didn't have to struggle with him at all with okay, we're going to eat this way now. We were on the same page.
You were. Did you meet in the aisle at Macro Foods or something, or
it was a blind date? And I was like,
was it?
Yeah, it was a total blind date.
Really? So some friends set you up?
Yes. It was actually his mom and a friend of my sister's.
Oh, classic. Did they think these guys are a bit crunchy together? So
I think
we'll just see how they go.
I don't know.
How funny.
He had my phone number for 6 months, and I was like, what were you waiting for? He was a hunter. He was never going to get married. And then I guess he was
married to the wild.
He was married to
his rifle.
He was. Yeah. So
classic.
Yeah, and that's just how it started. I don't know.
And what about so what about from in schooling? Did you pursue subjects at school which were a bit bit that way, or were you thinking in, I don't know what you call it, what do you call secondary school? So from when you were 13
college.
to 18, college.
College, university. No, I didn't know what I wanted to be for the rest of my life. Who does at the age of 18, right? I think it's silly.
Very few people.
Yeah. And then so I was like, I'll be a teacher because I love teaching people. I love children. I love teaching. I love education. So I went to be a teacher. Nothing on my radar. But I don't think I was like, I love my parents. They're amazing. But I grew up in that generation where you go to high school, you go to, school, public school, then you go to college. But there's no like, okay, what are your gifts? What are you talented at? And, I love that I get to homeschool now and see my children's giftings and like move them in that direction, kindly, gently, because they're teens and tweens, and they're still figuring things out. But I had no one, even though like my love was I loved the dirt. I loved growing things. I loved natural medicine. But I don't think I made a mistake going to college to be a teacher because I'm right back where I want to be. My love of growing food and healing our family naturally and just doing things unconventionally, So no, my training was not in any of it. And actually, when we first started growing our own food, homesteading wasn't even a term. I think I watched Justin Rhodes. Like we were doing exactly what they were doing at that same time, and I watched his first video. And I was like, hey, we're doing that same thing. So there's a term, homesteading? Like we just dove in. And now it's such a popular thing. And I'm a little salty about it. But I'm also
salty.
Yeah, I don't know.
Why?
I think that homesteading is romanticized to a point where it doesn't show the ugly side of the hard work, like the 100-degree weather where you have to be out picking tomatoes in your in your greenhouse, or the death of animals, the ebbs and flows of the growing season. Like it's been super dry here, and what do you do when the well runs dry?
So where are people picking up getting the impression? How is it portrayed that? And I don't disagree at all. Homesteading is maybe not such a big thing in Australia, and maybe it's called something else. Maybe it's just like organic living or whatever else. But I don't know that it's this bigger movement over there.
Okay.
But what is it? What mediums? I guess is it Instagram? Is it websites? Is it particular people? You don't have to name them, of course, but
right.
Like giving the impression it's all beer and Skittles and lovely and nothing goes wrong and you can feed the world and it's just fluffy.
I think it's a combination. I think it's a lot of Instagram. Because Instagram, which I love Instagram, I've met some amazing people, but you're getting the highlight reel. You're getting the highlight story. And you're not getting the everyday
behind the scenes.
We got some riff for, you have those animal activists out there that are like, how could you raise your animals and eat your own animals? How could you raise pets and eat your pets? I'm like, no, they're not pets. I'm raising them ethically and humanely, and they're giving us love. We're giving them love back. It is this full circle. And I think we just really have a disconnect between taking a life and the life it's going to give to us. We're afraid of death and what that looks like. We've become so disconnected to our food system. Like I'm getting goosebumps because it's so convenient. We've been sold out to convenience and materialism, right? We want it all. So we want the homestead, right? We want the homestead with the beautiful animals, the beautiful white farmhouse or whatever, whatever you want to live in, the acreage, the beauty of it, but we don't want the hardship of it, right? And so...
because the hardship is like, that doesn't sell books or sell the story.
No. And so... Coming back to just connection to the earth and connection to our ancestry. This is what our ancestors did, right? And you can put all the terms to it. You can put all the different, new catchy phrases. But this is what our ancestors did. And I talked to some of my friends that also farm and they have lots of children. And I have one in particular. She's like, she gets so upset. She's like, this is what our grandparents did. This is what our great-grandparents did. Why does it have to be so romanticized? Why can't this just be, right, what we do?
Why can't it be normal? Well, it's normal for many of us. But I guess to get people on the team, I guess it is, I'm not supporting that by any means, but I'm just thinking the psychology of it. You know, you're not going to say, hey, you should try homesteading. It's really fucking hard and shit's going to die and you're going to bloody wonder what you're doing in the whole time. But it's worth doing because great-great-great-grandma used to do it. Like, that's not going to sell.
Right. Absolutely. No.
So I guess we know why, but it's a pity that maybe it's headed down that way. And I guess at the end of the day, like, people are going to find that out, aren't they? And if they're upset and they're like, I was tricked, it's like, well, you weren't really. You just maybe didn't do the homework. Right,
exactly. And I think people they're afraid of death. They're afraid to fail. And that comes with homesteading. That comes with this life. That comes with life in general, right? You know, my husband and I, we learned a lot on our own. We made a lot of mistakes, but we had so much fun doing it. Like, we look back at some of the things we did and we laugh about it now. I can't even think of any off the top of my head. You know, we laugh about it, but then it was just like, you know, it was frustrating. But that's what builds you. That's the grit. I think that's what builds your character, and that's what bonds you as a family too. But people come to my classes and they want that hands-on experience because they want to know that I'm doing this correct. They don't want to make a mistake and they want that person next to them, guiding them. We didn't have that, you know. I wish we did. Because,
we
didn't have that generation. We didn't have, like, my parents they didn't raise their own food. His parents weren't either. Like, his grandparents grew vegetables, right? But not animals. So we had to learn a lot, but
if you hadn't had the failures and the hardships, you wouldn't be probably as good as a homesteader as you are. You know what I mean? Like it's the challenges and the trials and tribulations and the lessons you learn, and you know, it's only a mistake if you do it twice. You know, that's sort of that is. I mean, that's life, as you said. Isn't that life? You know, if we all sort of followed a prescription. You know, like, you having classes here and showing people how to do it, you know, I trust that they go home and they kind of adapt it to their situation. You know, their zucchini's not going to be the same as your zucchini. You know, that sort of thing.
Or they're like, but they come back to me and they're like, oh, it's really that simple? I'm like, yes, our brain tells us that it's going to be hard to protect us, right? That's just the psychology of it. Like, our brain tells us this is going to be too hard, and we say, okay, this is going to be too hard. We're going to have to give this much time. It's going to be frustrating. And then when we actually do something, we're like, oh, that wasn't that hard. You know, like.
And it's new too.
Yeah.
So they're sort of like apprehensive, I guess, or, you know, it probably would take them twice as long to do the first time. And then so that's great feedback you get, you know.
Yeah, it is. It's nice to hear that, because that's what people do come to class for. They're taking that learning curve off, because yes, you can go to YouTube, you can go to Instagram, you can go any social media platform, right? And you can learn something. But and not just that, but you're coming together as a community. So you're building that community, because when you're gathered together, I'm like, let's bring back the potlucks. Let's bring back the ice cream socials. Let's bring back just in-person learning around a table with grandmothers and aunts. And, you know, the butchering used to be done. It was like a Saturday event, right? Like, all the men would go down there and they'd butcher, and the women would be up cooking in the kitchen. And it was a
ritual.
Yeah. And, like, that's what I crave. And that's what I crave for people to experience and to come back to. But if they can't, it's awesome that there's farms around us that they can go and they could, you know, visit if it's an open door.
It's the next best thing to do themselves, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
And I mean, they're really healthy rituals too, aren't they? Like the coming together, maybe it's to turn all the extra tomatoes into passata, and all the, you know, whoever does that, and the boys are out there with a pig and making salami or whatever it is, whatever the ritual is. You know, again, that was back in many generations ago, was a normal thing, and lovely, healthy, community-based rituals. I mean, what are we if we took them out of our lives, and for many people they were never in their lives,
right?
What healthy rituals do they have? You know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know, because that's what I think. Well, what would I do? I'd just be, because sometimes when my girls get bored, I'm like, okay, what are we going to do? What is there to do? I'm like, okay, well, we can go hiking. We can go, I think nature right away. But then I'm like, oh, we could go shopping. We can go, get new clothes. And is it the vacations that, these rituals have been replaced with pleasure. Stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it leaves us empty and void. And we look at the rituals as like, ooh, I don't know if I could ever do that. And I thought the same thing. Ooh, I don't know if I could ever eviscerate a chicken. Ugh. But now I'm like, oh, I'm going to do it. It's like, and I actually look forward to our family chicken butchering day, as gross as it is. But I think it's because we all do it together. We raise those chickens. We butcher them together. We cook them. We eat them. And it's this whole circle that brings so much satisfaction. And so, yeah, anyone that's listening, I encourage you, just get your hands in. Like, don't be afraid.
Go and kill a chicken.
Just do it. Just go kill a chicken.
And also, literally, you said hands, like the hands in our, just a little sort of segue, in the biodynamic workshops that Hamish Mackay and I run, our 2-day ones, we talk about, in many cultures, the head is buried separate to the body. And that is because of the belief, essentially, that the body, excuse me, the body becomes the head in your next life.
Okay.
So what the body does in this life somewhat determines the activities and the thinking, I should say, in the next life.
Okay.
So you take that back down to children, which is kind of where we start navigating the world and find our gifts, hopefully encouraged by parents and friends. Yeah. And case in point, killing chickens. So I'll rephrase that. Preparing chickens, because there's different ways you can do it.
Culling chickens.
Culling chickens, making passata, using a hand to do woodwork or construction, all those creative things. It's all about being creative with your hands and being purposeful. And if we sort of look at that cultural belief of the body becomes the head in the next life, for a child who's not, or a person who hasn't done that in their life, that becomes the thinking in the next life.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you're into reincarnation, so I think it doesn't matter if you are or not. Yeah. But that, that's, again, it's another motivation that I have to make sure my children have those rituals of creation and, it might be financially beneficial down the track because they make stuff and they sell it. Yeah. It may be just the pleasure of making something, the pleasure of having something that is there in perpetuity, like, your husband's done the rock wall, and many other things. It's like that's a sign or a reflection of creativity and
because it's the connection.
Homeschooling, homesteading is as well. Making all that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you have to be, and I think when you're homesteading too, you can't have all the bells and whistles. I dream of having that barn. Beautiful, beautifully renovated. I dream of a lot of things on this farm. But unless you have a lot of money or have come into a lot of money, then it's just not possible. And you have to work with your hands. You have to be creative to be able to take something from the junkyard, and make it into a goat shelter or what have you, and I always say homesteaders are hoarders because there's usually piles of things.
I might need that.
Exactly.
I don't want to go and buy one.
Yeah. It irritates me sometimes. I'm like, get rid of that junk pile. But that pile of steel back there has built so many things. My dining room or my kitchen island, the cow shelter up top, the drywall that was sitting in this garage here. I cussed my husband. I was like, get that drywall out of here. It's just taking up space. And now it's like, actually, he got rid of it. It's up on the wall and we renovated. That's our classroom. So, we have these piles of things because we may need them. And you don't just go buy new. That's not practical. Definitely not.
And your daughters see that, right? I mean, you can go to the extreme and be a complete hoarder and it's like, oh my God, this is just too much.
Yeah.
But your girls seeing your resourcefulness. Mm-hmm. They see Dad go and make something out of the stuff that was sitting in a pile for a year,
Mm-hmm.
like that's I would suggest is a good influence. That's like, oh, okay, it's not they don't sort of end up in the in the throw out sort of world of throwouts, and that culture of it's it'll be right. I'll just go and buy another one. I mean,
and that's that regenerative spirit too, that resourcefulness, that waste not, want not, right? We don't want to waste food. We don't want to waste. We just don't want to throw away things, right? And why would I want to spend my money on something that's going to break, right? Why can't I just build it or find an antique that'll last for years to come?
I mean, it's an antique because it's lasted that long anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
So they're generally always
does. Yeah.
Build better. And even just having like your shelves in your pantry there, massive big slabs. I mean, what a wonderful resource that is, that you'll use that. And who knows, one day you might go, oh my God, there's a table in there.
Yeah.
I want to swap them out with something else.
And we've done stuff like that too, and being able to, we're referencing, so my pantry, we cut
it's an awesome pantry. It's an awesome pantry.
Dream pantry. It's like this European. I'm like, it's my European pantry with the rock wall, and but that was a project that we did, and that was being resourceful, and but we cut a hole in the wall and to a corridor that met the garage, and one side is like a supply closet for classes, and one side is our pantry, and my husband, we were debating on what kind of shelving we wanted to get. And my husband's like, I'm just going to go to the sawmill. So then again, you're staying within your community. You are supporting that local guy, right? So. Instead of going to the big box stores, which we have, like, it's called Lowe's, Home Depot, those kinds of things, and just buying, a piece of lumber that could be bowed. It might have imperfections. And here we got what we wanted, and we supported someone in our community, and that's staying local.
And it looks cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's awesome.
These shelves are heavier than the stuff that's
we had extra then. So then the shelves that are in our kitchen, we just planed down and took the live edge off and made our shelves for our cups and knickknacks and stuff in the kitchen.
This episode of the Regenerative Journey is brought to you by the Nutrition Academy. I always love bumping into Cyndi O'Meara at events around Australia. We're both very passionate about high quality and regeneratively grown food and the health of our communities. And she's an absolute legend, a real powerhouse in the space of wellness and food and farming and general health and well-being. Cyndi's also recently put a renewed focus into the Nutrition Academy, updating the Introduction to Nutrition course with fresh insights and the latest science. It's a fantastic foundation for anyone wanting to understand the deep links between food, health, and the land. Learn more about holistic nutrition, redesign your lifestyle, and uncover industry secrets with the Nutrition Academy. Use the code Charlie100, that's Charlie100, on the Nutrition Academy website to get $100 off their 10-week Introduction to Nutrition course. That's coupon code Charlie100. I want to get back to gifts. How do you? So you're a trained teacher. Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, and you mentioned there before, I can't remember quite the context about finding I think you referenced your daughter's gifts or people's gifts. I guess as a teacher, of other kids, that's a big responsibility, isn't it? Like, how do you identify? There may not be one single answer to this, of course, but how do you identify children's gifts, and then what do you do? What do you do about it in a classroom situation? Because I guess in a home situation, it's you encourage it, but when you see not even kids that you'd say, oh, you're gifted, but like, oh yeah, there's something about you. There's some thing. Can it be frustrating? Can it be? Can it be?
That's why I left teaching, because I was in the inner city for 9 years.
This is in a big city, is it?
It's not big, but it would be considered a city, where you have more of the poverty or the low income.
Okay.
And some more behavioral issues, but then you have those students that were like gems, that were the sweetest. And my first day of teaching, I had a door that exited out to the playground, and I was thrown in. It was October. Our school start in August here, and I was hired in October. to come in. So new teacher, I took over the old teacher, and I had this little boy that just was not happy. And this first grade, darted out the back door. And I'm this I grew up rural, right? I did grow up in a development. It was like a country bumpkin school. I was like, what do I do?
You mean he bolted?
He bolted. He ran out the door. He ended up being
He's gone, you teach, I'm gone.
He ended up being my favorite student. He was a sweetheart. I just, so I left because obviously we had our second child, and I said we agreed that I would stay home when our second child was born. I always wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, be home with my babies, raise them. I dreamed of a property like this ever since I was 12. This is what I wanted. I knew what I wanted. And teaching was really difficult because you had to stay with standards, it was all data. It was all test scores. It was because of funding, right? So the higher your test scores, the better funding you get as a school. Oh, yeah. And so that's not how I was taught in college. And that's not how it was hard to teach because I saw these children that really needed someone to pull their gifts out, oh, you're very artistic. Let's do a project here. But I wasn't allowed to, my hands were tied. And so there's some really amazing teachers out there, and I taught with some great teachers. I don't know if I could ever go back again. I sometimes consider it, but I love homeschooling my children.
And so 3 daughters.
Yes.
And you homeschooled all of them through their education kind of thing?
No. So COVID was that year. I think like many, I don't know. But it's just...
Is that when it started?
That's when it started. My children, my oldest was asking to come home. She's a great student. She had friends. But living on a farm like this and having to leave it, why would you want to? Leave for a whole day, leave your animals, leave climbing trees and just that play. And so when COVID hit and we had to do the online learning in March, I was like, no way, we're not online learning. We're not doing this, and I'm not sending you back next year. I could hear God say, nope, I've finally been putting that call on your heart and you're teaching. I was like, okay. So we had to unschool because I was trained as a teacher, and all of them except my youngest was in private school for kindergarten. We always do private school for pre-K and kindergarten. And then they go to public school, which our public school is amazing. Awesome teachers.
So private, because I often get them mixed up with the UK and Australia. So private kindergarten, you lower, yeah. So is that not government sponsored?
That's not government sponsored. Yeah, because it was
the public is the government.
Yeah, because it was so it was
with you.
Christian school. So it was a religious.
Sure.
So it was separate from state.
Yeah, with you. Yep.
Yeah. So they went there pre-K kindergarten and then public school. And so Sawyer, our youngest, had half a year of kindergarten. She didn't even get to ride the school bus because I took her to school. She didn't have that experience. So she's pretty much been the one that I've been homeschooling since the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me about COVID. Because so one of the repercussions obviously was homeschooling started. I know that many parents, I understand, certainly in Australia, they consider homeschooling because as the children were sent home with homework for months on end, and they actually got to see the crap they were learning and kind of your teachers are teaching this rubbish. They went, no, this is not something I want to sort of support. So the homeschooling exploded.
Yeah. So I say that's a positive. I look for the positives that came out of COVID. My children were learning, it was basic math, and it wasn't anything too extreme like there is today, It was basic stuff, but I didn't want them masked. Yeah. I didn't want to have them do that. So that was a no-me.
What was the jab policy for schools? Or did you have teachers who had to be jabbed to be a teacher?
I'm not sure about that. I know that's a good question. I know here in our state, it's not mandatory. Jabs are not mandatory, even though they make
even in the COVID, in the thick of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah, because you can get the religious exemption. Yeah.
Or what would that? What's
or a philosophical exemption? And all I say is this: just as I do not believe in. It's like a one sentence thing, and they let me alone. Really? I don't believe in vaccinations for my children. It goes against our beliefs. That's all I say.
You know, in Australia, you may be aware of this, the police force, the nursing fraternity, teachers, the fireys, all have to get jabbed.
Really?
All had to.
Yeah. Well, all the medical,
or they lose their job.
Yeah. There was
but teachers.
Teachers.
And
I don't know.
And you know what? The irony is, it's the best teachers who left. Because I mean, I hate to say it, but I'm going to say it.
Yeah.
Because the teachers who are awake to that and had the interests of the children at heart and their health and the whole thing, and they're aware of all this bullshit, they're the ones that left. And they left and they lost the education system.
Oh yeah.
Lost it. It was the cleverest. I'm not sure if it was. Well, who knows? It was the cleverest filter and cull they could have done.
Yes.
To leave all the teachers that went, oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
You know.
So I don't know.
So you bailed. So
I bailed, and I look for the positive through it all. And through the positive, you have the rise in homeschooling. You have the rise of people that have been awake to what is happening. There for a while, I had a lot of anxiety, a lot of because my eyes were open. You know, even though we were already crunchy and stuff, but just
crunchy.
You never heard that term?
No.
Crunchy? Oh yeah.
What was the other one you said? Salty.
So, I was salty. I'm a little I don't know, rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Crunchy, that's funny. So you're already that.
Yeah, but just why would Mom was why would our government do that to us? I question, because I like to think of everything as perfect, and I don't know. I'm a dreamer, and I'm I don't like to look at the evil of the world, you know? And I still tend not to, but my eyes were open to evil and the things, and even going on, you know, everything that's going on now with the election, and you know, the election year.
I want to get to that.
I think
the election.
Go ahead. You can ask.
No. I will admit, but it's something that came up with Joel yesterday. Is because he's homesteading on a different scale, a different kind of whole structure, of course. But you know, we got to that point of. You know, and COVID was a real catalyst for so many things, good and bad. But, you know, when someone has to depend on someone they don't trust, that's not a very good situation to be in. And as parents and people who are in the workforce or just citizens of a country who are told to trust a government, and within that, different departments, I can only reference Australia, health department. I mean, what I saw over here, your health department wasn't any better. Then, you know, oh, trust us, you know, to get this thing and you'll be sweet, and if you don't, you're going to kill people. That now the curtain has been drawn back, and there can't be much trust left, I wouldn't imagine, with the general populace. Some will never see that. They'll always look through their glasses that it was all fine. But, you know, that's a pretty horrible place for people to be. Yeah,
because you still see people wearing masks, and I'm like, why are you wearing a mask by yourself in a car? You know,
But the interesting thing, a lot of the people I see wearing masks are some of the most unhealthy people you'll ever meet.
Yeah.
It's okay, so you're wearing a mask for your health.
Yes.
And that's easy to do. I'm healthy and I'll stop myself getting whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm still going to eat a
donut.
Pick a box, or what's that thing? What's that burger in a box? What is it? Up and go? No.
Oh, In and Out. We don't have that here on the East Coast.
Well, any McDonald's, that's probably
McDonald's,
that's a universal
Burger King,
one.
Yeah.
But that's because they're clearly doing that because just the size of people, and they're literally waddling around in a mask.
Yeah, but I think I go back and I'm like, wow, our eyes are open to all of the conditioning that had to happen up until that point in COVID, right? Of people were so blind and so just led astray that they just trusted. And that's where we were sold out. We just sold ourselves to, we didn't want to do the hard work that Grandpa did on the farm. We would go into the city and get a good job, or, I think things are, hopefully they're turning, right? Where people's eyes are open that I don't want to trust like I did because I was led astray. I trusted and I was led astray. Now, like, honestly, I don't really follow. The only news I get is if I follow someone on Instagram and I'm like, okay, scroll. I don't want to put my eyes to the evil. I don't want to put my eyes to that because that just makes me anxious. It makes me mad.
Like what? What do you?
Well, okay, so just recently, or even through COVID, like the back and forth, the arguing, I had enough of that within family, right?
Ah, right.
Taking sides, and the last thing, the assassination attempt. And I'm like that. I look at it and I look at it's just a bunch of clowns. And like, it is such a show. To me, it is a show. And I don't know what to believe. And when we put our trust in government or in a president to fix things, it's taking responsibility off of us. Because what you're doing in your home is way more important than what's happening at the White House. Like, so you are making a bigger impact by the choices that you're making in your home, the food that you're feeding your children, the conversations that you're having, the choice to homeschool, home educate, or, even if you can't, like, just come around the dinner table at night and have the conversations. That's more important. Changing building your children up in that next generation. So I think just putting the trust in who's the next president going to be, and just waiting for the economy to turn around. No, because you can be doing that now with connecting with people in your community, like the local sawmill, the local baker, the local, the farmer down the road that maybe grows grain, and connecting and making those connections. That's going to be a bigger impact.
Yeah, it's awesome. And even just that, you're creating your own, that community currency, whether it's like they've got grain, you've got cucumbers, swap them over. But hang on, I'll come and teach you how to pickle the cucumbers and you can help me make bread or whatever. Those are, that is the fabric of, of a community. Mm-hmm. And, just again, blowing that out to the world. Joel said something that was great yesterday. He said, there is no such thing as a global problem.
Yeah. Right.
Like, we can fix any global problem locally.
This pesky fly.
No, that's okay. I'm so used to it. I'm
I always think, is it a drone?
It probably could be.
I know, right?
Like, just like spying.
This is where my mind goes now through COVID and all the things that...
A fly drone was probably going past and like had the sonar out going, beep, 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 government, and it's flown in here somehow. Yes. It's smashed through, it's like drilled through your fly screen and it's like...
Now we're on the radar.
Yeah, we probably already were.
All this,
and he said, and I always reference from a farming point of view and climate change and all that sort of stuff, we're methane, you guys call it methane, we call it methane, but the whole methane thing, that's just got hairs on it, but that's another conversation. But as an example of, farmers and their cows, farts and burps are killing the planet. Mm-hmm. We've got to eat less meat, and we've got to eat more veggies and whatever else. And we've got to find out, draw down the carbon and the methane and stop all this terrible stuff happening.
But what happened when buffalo roamed the polar?
Said that, yeah. That's exactly what Joel and I said. And he, the rough numbers I have is there were 300 million bison alone.
Wow.
Forget the elk and the bloody moose and all those things. There were 300 million bison in North America. Let's just say 400 years ago, 400 years ago. Before they were exterminated.
Yeah, on purpose.
On purpose, yeah. So, and then Joel said, well, on the Earth, 500 years ago, there was more biology than there is now.
Oh, yeah.
All of the creatures who are farting and burping and doing all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
There's less than 300 million, as I understand, cattle, bovine in North America. So if we just look at bison and bovine, like the domesticated cow, there's actually less. Even if they were farting and burping the same amount, bison to cow, there's no net change. But we're making such a hullabaloo about extracting it,
But
so
seeding the sky.
and now, like we're going to block out the sun. There's so many ridiculous things about it. But back to, farmers are often blamed or in the very least, fingers pointed at saying you're responsible to fix it because you started, so you've got to go and do all these things, most of which the people who are pointing the finger don't even understand anyway, like sequestering carbon and grazing and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But it's a big responsibility for a farmer to, say you got to save the planet by doing these other things, Yeah. And often they're mechanical. I've always said you can't fix. I mean, even if we were to agree that there is a problem, and in my view that's questionable. Yeah. Exactly how that's come about, but you can't fix a biological problem with mechanics.
Right.
Like, forget that.
Yeah.
But where fingers are pointed, and I say, forget the planet. Just worry about your patch.
Right.
Whether
Even if it's an
3.5
acre.
acres or 5,000 acres.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Or even an acre. Just an acre of the food that you can grow. And you think about what would it look like if everyone grew a garden? Everyone had a garden. Even if you were like in the city and had a balcony with just maybe a tomato plant. What would it look like if we all took responsibility for the food that we eat instead of going, you can go to the grocery store. Oh, I forgot a tomato at the grocery store. I'm going to run down the road, right, and get one. It's just food is so easily accessible. And I think we point fingers because we're scared. There's fear. When fear comes into place, we want to blame, right? It's not my problem.
Yeah.
It's yours. Don't blame me. And
Deflect it.
Yeah.
I think it was Joel. Was it Joel or someone else? I'm not sure. Actually, it might have been an experiment. I might butcher all the facts, but certainly in a country, in a city somewhere, I think it might be Europe, they gave, a city, medium-sized city, they gave everyone like 4 or 5 chickens.
Yeah, I think that was Joel.
Was it Joel? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if it actually happened or he's done the maths on it.
Yeah.
And how much food would be saved if that happened. I'm pretty sure they did do a bit of an experiment on it.
Yeah.
So all this food didn't go to landfill. Kids had something to do. They had chores, and they had food because they had eggs. And it taught a whole lot of different things, and...
They learn not to waste. Like, when you grow your own food, it's like, ooh, that went to waste. I'm not going to waste that. Or you have pigs, and it's like, okay, you feel comfortable with that slop going to the pigs. It's this whole full circle. Yeah.
Because it'll come back around.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The pig's going to convert it to something that's actually useful.
Right.
Talking about chores, I was reminded yesterday, speaking to him about a child psychologist that I was listening to some time ago, and the interviewer said, "What do the kids need? What do they need? What do the kids,
Yeah."
And the person's psychologist said, "Only 2 things: love and chores.
Yeah.
That's all I need."
Well, it gives the chores give them purpose. So love and purpose, and through those chores, right? They have purpose.
Totally.
And they're not bored. But sometimes boredom, I'm like, it's okay to be bored. That's when creativity comes out, And I see my kids being creative.
Having said that, I always say when one of my kids very rarely say I'm bored, I say only boring people get bored. Go and find something.
That's great. That's good.
Go and find something to do. Yeah. I want to get to. I'm also conscious of the time.
Oh yeah.
Because this is awesome. Tell me about. I'm always fascinated about. Now being in the US, it's not my first time in the US, but it's the first time podcasting and really diving deep into areas and people's lives and whatever. Do you know much about the Civil War around here?
Oh, I don't. I'm not a history buff. Not too much. No.
No. Okay.
But, yeah.
Next question. No, I just always fascinating because I know I forgot to ask Joel about it. Actually, ran out of time. But when I interviewed, did I ask Will Harris? I can't remember now. But he told us a fair bit of history down there. But I've been trying to track down a copy of Benjamin Franklin biography called The First American because he was. Well, I'm not sure what involvement he had in the Civil War. Certainly, Abraham Lincoln was because he was the leader of the the Union. Is it the Unionists? The Northern guys and the Southern Confederate?
Yes.
Was that it?
I'm pretty sure.
You're a school teacher. You should know this stuff.
I didn't teach that.
History.
I taught kindergarten and first grade and second grade. I didn't get that high. That's why.
But when we were in Georgia, we were driving to Wills. We went through some towns. I can't even. No, it wasn't Euphoria. It would sound like Euphoria, but it wasn't.
There's some weird names, yeah.
Yeah, but it was in the Civil War, the amazing houses there, the stately homes, I guess they're all cotton owners and whatever else, and they weren't destroyed like many of the town's houses were as the guys up north marched south, because they were into the telegraph line, and they were able to. Some guys who heard the news on the telegraph to say the war's over, the South has surrendered. Yeah. So they rode north to meet the guys coming south and said, whoa, it's finished. Okay. So stop burning, and then they kind of, it was fascinating. I just love.
I feel like we have, I could definitely take an entire year and do living history because we have so many landmarks here.
Totally. I was sitting in your house, which is, what is it,
1870.
So that's kind of old in Australian terms. Yeah. And then Joel's house is 1790.
That's...
With all those chestnut beams and everything. And then I kept on saying, that's right, I saw, on the way here, I saw like ironworks or mining. There was sort of historical signage about that. Was this a mining area?
Yeah, it was. We have a little mining town above us. It was called Cornwall. And all the little houses are so adorable in there.
Oh, cute.
I don't know much about the mining town though, but I should just do living history one year. You're encouraging me. I know.
What is that a course? Is it?
No, you just do.
Oh, you just do
instead of doing,
dive.
you just take. You would just visit places, local historic places.
How's this? What if you were to find some of the old recipes of the homestead? I mean, there weren't homesteaders. That was normal back then. It was like everyone's homesteading back then.
Yeah. Well, we have the Foxfire books. Do you know what those are?
Foxfire.
I'll have to show those to you.
No.
I think there's a community that was in Tennessee, Foxfire. And so there's a whole series of these books.
Really?
And it, teaches you how to butcher a hog or to make wine or, planting by the moon.
Really?
And so we have some of the books.
And they're quite old. They were written hundreds of years ago.
It was probably in the early 1900s, I believe.
Really?
Yeah. But my husband encourages me to do that too. He's like, what happened to the old recipes that were just handed down that were verbally handed down? I was like, yeah, that'd be cool.
That is cool because you're tasting the past, or I mean, some of the ingredients you probably couldn't even find anymore. I don't know.
I don't know because I think I cook pretty close to like my grandmother. It's like flour and lard and salt. I had this it's called a Hoosier. And it was just this cabinet that would be in like an old homestead because they didn't have cabinets, right? So the bottom was where you keep your dishes, and then the top, it would be like a counter, and it was like an enamel piece that would pull out, right? And then there would be like another small cabinet. It had a flour grinder, like a mill.
Really?
Yeah.
All in the one?
On the one side.
Oh, that's cool.
The other side would be like where your cups would go. But there was like this grocery list that you could just move over the peg. And it was all simple ingredients. It was like rubbing alcohol, salt, sugar, flour, lard, blue soap. I forget what they called that blue soap. Yeah, it was really simple. So I don't think the ingredients would be that different. No.
But that'd be awesome. And then whether you could find local recipes from old Granny Smith from down the road here that used to do that.
I do. I have some cookbooks that are like old. Like
from around here?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Really? There you go. There's your next thing. Now, talking about courses, I want you to tell us and listeners and viewers about all your everything you offer, like because we're looking across there, your little school, little workshop space. What are you teaching? How do people find you? Okay. Where do they go? Like all that sort of cover.
Sure thing. Yeah. So we started teaching classes so going back. Okay, this is going to be a little long. That's okay. Going back to the beginning.
Little white car. Is that Brooke?
No? Oh, maybe. What time is it? Oh, yeah, that's my husband. He's home from work.
Cool.
Oh, yeah, you get to meet him. Cool.
Is he going to bring back like a taxidermy
Sometimes he does.
leopard?
Maybe sometimes he does bring work home for the weekends, but it's what, Wednesday, Tuesday? Yeah, so no. Going back when we started, all I craved was like sitting with like a grandma or like someone that was doing this, like teach me how to can, teach me to do this. I didn't have that. So then when we moved here, I saw our barn and I was like, oh, cooking classes, canning classes, let's do this. And so I just started teaching our friends around the dining room table, like cheese making, like mozzarella, ricotta, those simple things. And then I was, shushling everyone out of the house around dinner time, like get out of the house. I have people coming over. I'm teaching a class. And then that's when we built the classroom. So that was about 7 years ago in September. So in September coming up, that'll be 7 years. So I offer my popular one is sourdough bread, which became popular in COVID. But it took me forever to learn sourdough bread. So I want to take the hardness out of like making the bread. It's not that hard, right? So make it simple. So fermenting, canning, just some seminar styles like wine making. I just did a wine making class and that was so fun.
So what people bring you have grapes?
No, that was more a seminar. So what I'm doing now, because a lot of my classes are really hands-on, it's like 3-hour classes where they're learning, they're getting their hands into what they're making and they go home with the supplies and the recipes. But those are high ticket dollar things, right? And so, the economy's changing. People's time commitments are changing. So we're working with that, and I'm doing a little bit more seminar where you come and I demonstrate this is what you need, here's your supplies, those kinds of things. And so it changes seasonally, and it's usually a once and done class, like wine. I'm not probably going to teach that again. Maybe.
So how'd you do that?
You can cut this out.
Hey. Hello, Brooke. How are you?
Good.
I was hoping you were going to bring a taxidermed leopard home or something like that.
We have one with a shop.
You do.
They're going to stop in, I think, on the way.
What's the name of the very famous English taxidermist from a couple hundred years ago who used to do some amazing?
I have his book.
Yeah, he had a double barrel name, like a hyphenated.
Joseph Smith, was it?
Yeah, something like that. Not Joseph Smith or something.
Maybe.
He was world famous for his. They're in the London Museum and all that sort of cool stuff. There you go.
I didn't interrupt, did I?
Yeah, we're just finishing.
You did, but it's good.
You're good.
That's good.
We'll be finished here in just a second. So stay. So
classes.
Classes. Yeah, so the winemaking class. So then it's just like they come and they get a list of supplies to take that, like, okay, what do I need and how do I do this? So it's just more visual, and they can ask questions in person. And then they have my contact information too. Like they can text me throughout the time where they're making something and maybe.
So are they literally going to go on the list? Is like go and get some grapes, squash them.
Well, no, I have they'll have a recipe book that they go home with. Right?
Yeah.
But then I have a list of like, okay, a carboy, a hydrometer. You're going to need, the wine yeast, and here's the ingredients that you add and here's what they do.
Yep.
That. What else am I teaching? Doing like just a flower, like how to grow a flower garden, planning your next year's flower garden, a homestead tour. So some fun things this year that I'm doing, and changing things up. Like, okay, we're trying it on Monday night. We're going to try one on a Wednesday night. So trying different times, because you can never.
It's never perfect. No.
Yeah.
Someone always doesn't work out for the timing. How many people?
Well, you teach classes. Yeah. So I can fit like 8 people in here.
Yeah, cool.
Max. I would love it to be larger, but then I'm thinking, no, I think small and intimate is kind of better.
They get good value then.
It does. Yeah. And it's just, and I think that's where I really want to, like, I wanted to get that barn done. And when we had the answer was no, when our state said, no, you can't do that. And local township said, no, you can't do that. I was like, okay, maybe that's the answer, to stay small and really.
It would cost a lot to upgrade that to what you'd like to do.
Right. Well, we need a septic system in, and because we don't have the acreage to do what we want to do, then we can't really renovate the barn to its fullest potential. Now it needs upgrades, and we'll do that, but it won't be able to host classes.
Not yet.
So
you're doing virtual stuff as well, like online stuff? Yeah.
Yeah, I am. It's called the Greenhouse course. It's like a membership. So I have a lot of people from Instagram that are like, are you going to teach this virtually? Are you going to teach this virtually? So I have a space on my website, and it's really basic, like super basic. Because, when you go to YouTube and you're like, oh, I want to learn how to do this. And then you're scrolling and you're like, why am I here? right?
Yeah.
Or you go to Instagram or Facebook or wherever these platforms and you're like, why did I come here? And so the greenhouse membership is literally, I have a space and like each month you learn one skill a month. So it's like this month is fermenting.
Oh, cool.
And it's just basic videos with a recipe.
So you've recorded them all. It's on there. You release them every month and new one every month. That's cool.
Yeah. And they're short videos. So it's not like me teaching this class where it's going to be like, 3 hours. Yeah. It's like short and condensed and you can follow it, step by step. You can go rewind. And then you have the recipes and stuff too. So
that's so cool.
Yeah. So then you're not like on YouTube.
So when's the book coming out? I asked you before.
I know.
I'll write a book.
I have notes in my journal. I just have to be brave to do it.
Is that it? No, what's that?
Bible planner journal.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. That's
your life.
That's my life. It goes with me everywhere. So
that's a well-used Bible, isn't it?
It is.
How many times have you read through that? I mean, not the sort of thing you read probably front to back.
I read it.
You've had it for a while, so it's because your
my maiden name is
still on there. So at least how many years? 17. No.
Am I 20? Oh, goodness. How old am I? 20. I think I've had it for probably 25 years.
Yeah, cool.
I read it back to front to back once.
Really?
Yeah. It took me 3 years.
That's big, isn't it?
It's huge, yeah.
I hate to say my first experience with the Bible generally was at primary school. So when I was, 8 to 12 years old, and I went to a boarding school.
Okay.
When I was 8, and we used to, I hate to say it, tear the pages out of the back and use it for cigarette paper.
Oh no!
And smoke. We'd find stuff to smoke.
Oh, no.
No,
At the age of 8?
No, probably 9 or 10. I think it was 9 or 10.
Oh,
We left it a couple of years. It was, 8's a bit young. We'll wait till next year. Okay. No, that's not. It was just that our Bible experience was, enforced. It wasn't like a natural kind of thing.
It wasn't a natural thing, yeah.
It's a school sort of enforced kind of thing. So we thought the best thing for it was to smoke. I can't remember what we used to wrap up in the pine needles and other things. So we're going to leave it now because I'm also conscious you've got a class tonight.
Oh, I do, yeah.
And we're going to have a 2-minute break and then we're going to come back and do a little quick Q&A for our subscribers. We've just launched our subscriber model, which is it's like $5 a month or $60 or $50 for the year or something. Okay. And then people get they get the Q&As that we do. They get chunks out of the interviews that are just for subscribers. Get discounts to some Airbnb house in Australia and also our biodynamic workshops, which is probably really not attractive for overseas people, but hopefully the other things. And we also do webinars. So we're going to get back to the habit of doing once a month. We have a webinar for an hour with previous guests.
Oh, awesome.
So I might hit you up to do that. Get our timing right. That's about the time.
Yeah, the timing.
My time, your time.
Yeah, I've interviewed, I've been on a podcast with someone in Australia.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Black Barn.
Oh, Black Barn Farm.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah. Katie and Katie from let me look them up. There's so many. Do you know who I mean? Black Barn.
Black Barn. Yeah, I interviewed... when was that?
Jade and Charlie.
And Charlie. Yeah, Charlie
and
Flower.
Then, so Jade and Katie from the South Twins. Katie from they're co-hosts.
Oh,
together.
yeah, right. Yeah, of course. Yeah, they're awesome.
So I was waking up really early in the morning and they were just going to bed.
Oh, really? Because I thought we're like 15 hours behind you guys or something. Mm-hmm. No, we're 15 hours in front of you guys.
Right, yes.
Forgetting I'm in the States. Hey, let's leave it there. Okay. Awesome, Sarah. So good. Thank you so much. That was exactly.
Yes. Oh, and where they can find me. I didn't share that.
Oh, yeah, do that. Do it.
Yeah. So wellfolkrevival.com. So all my socials are wellfolkrevival. And I'm excited to see you all.
And you're on the gram. You're on Facebook.
Yep. Facebook.
All those things. Are you on Twitter and all those things?
No. I tried to do like TikTok and I'm on YouTube. I try to put a YouTube video out. All the things.
But you probably do. Your videos you put on Instagram are great. You probably just put them together or run with it on YouTube. Yeah. We're starting to do that too. So this will end up on YouTube.
Yep.
That was delicious. Your mint.
Oh, thanks.
Tea.
Mint tea. We call it meadow tea here.
Looks like wee, but it wasn't.
It's not.
Make sure you don't wee in a jar and then get mixed up. Okay, let's have a break.
Therapy?
No, it's delicious wee.
If you enjoyed this episode, we'd love your support by subscribing, rating and reviewing The Regenerative Journey on your favourite podcast platform. You help us reach more people and keep the show thriving for seasons to come. Each time you listen, you're choosing to make a positive shift in your own world. And if an episode speaks to you, please pass it on to friends, family or communities who might be inspired too. For more details and episodes, visit www.charliearnott.com.au.